My mother always said, if you cannot have the best, make the best of what you have. And so it was.
You got to give a little, take a little.
Kia ora. I'm Ann Somerville, and I was part of a team of people that curated Daughters of the Land. Now, it's nearly 30 years on, and I'm taking a bit of time to revisit the project, maybe tell a story or two. Now, this is the Ngākuru Hall. In the country, roads are vital connectors of people, and they've turned out in droves for this image, which was taken in 1947. Crowds have gathered to celebrate the opening of the hall. It looks sombre, and it probably was. World War II is a recent memory. New beginnings are ahead. Talking of roads, there were no roads here when London-born Ann Coates arrived in New Zealand in 1907 and settled with her husband in the wilds of Ngākuru. Ann is legendary for her walks to town, travelling on foot some 32 kilometres and bringing back a bag of books from the library. Not far away, the Rotorua Bluffs shadow the land. Today, with neat, prosperous farms, a school and two marae. It wasn't like that when in 1929 Sir Apirana Ngata, then native minister, was authorised to create farms for Māori throughout the country. Rotorua was one of the first land settlement projects. It saw Te Arawa whānau groups settled in some 8,300 acres of land. And it was hard, hard work. Many whānau lived in tents for the first years, and women and children worked alongside the men to break in the land. The 1930s are marked by the emergence of a significant community-based women's health movement. By the mid-1930s, health had become a crucial issue for Māori whānau. Scottish nurse Robina Cameron, working with women like Ngā Huia Pururu of Horohoro, formed the Women's Health League, Te Rōpū o Te Ora. When she couldn't get her Model T Ford over rough roads, she took to horseback and brought women together in 14 community groups around the Rohi. And the spirit of friendship and awhi is still alive today in branches round the lakes. The story of rural life in the Rotorua area features a huge program of social engineering that took place as a government initiative after World War II. Thousands of acres of unproductive pumice lands were readied for settlement. Districts such as Waikiti, Reparoa, Rerewhakaitu, Rotomahana and Galatea, as we know them today, date to the 1950s. Few people knew each other before taking up a balloted block. South Islanders, Norma Evans, her husband Bob and their 4 daughters, migrated north to take up a farm at Rotomahana in 1955. Their part house, yes, a part of a house, was plonked down on a ring-fenced block. Norma had collected a treasure trove of items from the 1950s. We were able to draw on this resource for the show. Designer Chris Curry came up with the inspired idea to build a part of a part house in the gallery, and it proved the star of the show. Norma sometimes came and sat in the kitchen, giving people a personal tour and sometimes a slight fright. Daughters of the Land gave us a chance to show women's work in a museum setting and to show technology, or the lack of it. The show also gave us a chance to celebrate the spirit of community that flourished throughout the area, usually centred on those halls. Country districts worked very hard to build them. They became the focus of local events, meetings, bowls, church services, and Saturday night dances. After 18 months, the exhibition was ready to open. The book, written by Joan Boyd, had been printed, and celebrated photographer Ann Somerville had completed a documentary of young rural women. The opening ceremony of Daughters of the Land in 1993 was very moving. The Daughters of the Land wore white camellias, a symbol of the suffrage movement which gave New Zealand women the vote in 1883. 20 years later, I curated my last exhibition for Rotorua Museum. It was called Down the Hall on a Saturday Night, and it turned out to be a poignant footnote to the rural story. The halls, made with such idealistic enthusiasm, were largely unused. The districts had changed. Roads were now tar-sealed and cars sped to town. Not a pothole in sight. The generation of people that built the halls were no longer living on the farms they carved out decades before. It was a high point of my life to be able to meet such wonderful rural women. It's nearly 3 decades ago now. I'm in awe at their courage, their tenacity, and their ability to support each other through the hard times. Sometimes I heard of tragic events, but I don't remember encountering self-pity. So many women didn't get their stories told. Even now in 2021, I feel as strongly as I did in 1993 that we were paying tribute to a few, but we're also paying tribute to the many who remain unnamed, saluting them too. Ki ngā whaia, ngā kuia, ngā tuahine, ara ngā tamahine o te whenua, ma te ātua koutou e manaaki, e te ake mō ake tonu atu e. To the mums, the nannies, the sisters, the daughters of the land, may God watch over you and protect you forever.